I am Shakira Nelson, and I am a housing support specialist for Alpha House. My family dynamic consisted of my mother, and she has 3 children. She raised us as a single mother. I definitely feel like I had to grow up a lot sooner than my peers. The age I was when my family entered the homeless system, I believe I was 10 years old. I couldn't have been any older than that. Again, my mother was a single mother. She did everything that she could, but sometimes raising young Black children in America is not the easiest task, especially for a Black woman to do it alone. So when we became homeless, it honestly wasn't due to poverty. My mother, she worked hard. We moved to the east side of Detroit, and within the first month of us being in that home, our neighbors were killed. They were murdered execution style. And with that, that was 2 doors down from us. My mother said, absolutely not, we have to leave. And we did, and that started my homeless experience. So yeah, I was around the age of 10 years old. The way that I feel like the new legislation has affected me as a case manager is I think that not only are Black women looked to pick up ourselves and help ourselves and that type of thing, we're looked to pick up everybody else as well. So it's really hard to know that I went to school and I'm going to school to make these changes and fight for social justice, but I am actively being fought against on the opposite end. It makes it seem next to impossible to help some of my clients, but almost next to impossible to help my Black clients specifically. I have clients who they came to me because they were homeless, and by the time they're done with my services, they're still homeless, and that's hurtful. I've done all of the things, they have done all of the things. They've done the job applications, they've done the interviews, they've done the housing applications, but the system is actively working against us, making none of that matter. I got connected through Alpha House. Right now, I'm getting my master's in social work. So when I was getting my bachelor's, I started my work with Alpha House as an intern. Within a few months, they brought me on full-time as a case manager. And I've expanded since then. I've gone from being a case manager to now I'm the only case manager of the shelter. And I also help run the hoteling program for emergency shelter throughout Washtenaw County. This opportunity with Alpha House is exactly where God placed me to be, I feel like. Alpha House really pulled me out of a really bad depression. It was nice to be able to come to work and help the moms that I help overcome the same things that I had to deal with and go through as a child. Yes, Alpha House is a job. Of course, that's where I go. I make my money, I get paid. But I now look at Alpha House as like a family. I really do. Me going through the system as a Black woman honestly makes me feel like another number. It's just another family in poverty. It's just another Black family that's homeless. It's just another Black family that's experiencing all of these things that society just expects for Black families, especially of single mothers, to experience. But I think for me and the way that it's affected me is I look at it as the things that I get to do as a Black woman. I get to be a Black woman who has mastered my education. I get to be a Black woman who can raise her child and he's not in survival mode. I get to be a Black woman that is leaving a legacy for her children to follow after. So I think that the system looks at me as just another number who may have done some good in her life, but the way that I look at myself is I've made it out and I'm making a way for my child to also make it out. I feel like society ignores us as Black women in the same ways that they need us. and that's the most heartbreaking part. I think that it's important for people to remember that the more you put into yourself looking good, the more you put into yourself feeling good. And I think that people tend to forget that. No, I think that people look at Black women and they're expecting us to have our hair slipped and dipped, and our nails have to be on point, and our eyelashes have to be this, and the lip gloss has to be that. And then when it's not, it makes us feel less of a woman. I don't agree with the terms at all, but I do try to make sure that with my clients, they remember that they're all worthy of that. Yes, we are going to make sure that housing is a priority, but I also want them to prioritize themselves. I want them to make sure that they look good and they feel good, because then they'll put their best foot forward and tackling the goals that we need to get to. So yes, I feel like housing is absolutely important. Education is absolutely important, but the way you feel about yourself is just as important. And I think that for Black women especially, we have to dig a little deeper for that self-comfort and the fact that we look good, because society is always telling us that we don't. So I try to make sure with my clients, as soon as we handle housing, as soon as we handle employment, it's okay that you want to get your hair done. It's okay that you want to get your nails done. It's okay that you want to feel like a woman. Because being a woman has always, especially a Black woman, it's always only been to work hard. It's always only been to raise children. It's always only been to carry literally the entire country on your back. It's never been to take care of yourself. And so I want Black women to realize that taking care of everybody else, you have to take care of yourself first. I would like other service providers to acknowledge the fact that this was systemically done to us, and now we are systemically trying to fight against it. I want them to realize that it has nothing to do with being lazy. It has nothing to do with not wanting to work. It has nothing to do with wanting to be a welfare queen, nothing to do with any of the horrible labels that I feel like Black women get. We're here, we show up, we work hard, and we're making a difference. And I want them to acknowledge the fact that that's what we're doing and we've been working for us. I would also like them to acknowledge what we're doing. If that's working for us, follow in behind us. Don't try to step over what it is we're doing and overtake our programs and shed light on things that are not making a difference in our community. We have fought to put certain things in place, and I want them to get on board with those.
To learn more or support, visit us at alphahouse-ihn.org.